Hello, this is APOD, or Bags Don't Go in Pipes for Reddit. In this video, I'm going to explain more in depth on what categories are and kind of background information for like how they work. If you go onto either Reddit, Discord, or other media sites that discuss Dragon City, people will be discussing the category of the dragon as to decide whether or not it's good or bad, in terms of how strong it is, and oftentimes this can be more confusing or leave you more confused than when you started. People will explain that it's their stats and various other um, properties, but then they leave you hanging in there. So this video I'm gonna start with a very kind of quick overview of it, get you to speed how to actually tell what category your dragon is, and then I'll go into the nitty gritty of actually doing more proving why my analysis or why my interpretation of the numbers given is correct. So the TLDR is categories, or stat categories, determine the base damage and health of your dragon. In each of the category, the stats are the same at each level and only change when comparing empowered dragons of different rarities. So on the left you see the 11 categories and how their stats are distributed, and on the right is the empowerment bonus for each star. You'll note that common and rare have the same bonus, and this will come in later when they have the same stats. One thing to note quickly, the damage and HP numbers that you see on left, you will never see those in game. So you'll never see those exact numbers. They are comparative. And so it gets this basic question: how do you know which category dragon is? And the answer is with the max power and health, as well as knowing which rarity your dragon is. So on the circled is where you'll look for it on your dragon. The top one and the bottom one, so your health and your damage, and then the possible combinations of rarity and category is shown in the purple on the right, with the orange being ones where I could not find an example of a dragon of that. So the next little bit I'm going to basically just go over and display what they are. I guess jump in. So these are the max stats for the common and rare. You got your category 1, 2 through and then upwards. And then this will all be, I'll post these all below in text form. You got your very rare, the 5 categories that are possible. We have our epics, the 4 categories, legendary, 6 categories, and the single heroic category. Don't worry about trying to stop them, write them down. I'll have them listed down below. So yeah, that's how you do it. If you don't actually have the dragon, sadly there is no way currently in game. You can ask people who might know, but currently there's no official way to determine ahead of time what the category is, sadly. Well, hopefully one day that changes, but not now. So yeah, then getting into the nitty gritty of it. This post will also be linked below. This is a forum post that I posted a while ago, 2 years ago. Oh, no, it's joined. I think about a year ago when they did the Empowerment Reborn. And the big thing that changed in that was just that category 9's got a health boost. But that got into this chart here, which is also displayed on the left. The big difference between the two, if you were to know nitpicking, is this is displaying the old 13,600 and not the 15,000. So the way that what this chart really represents is ways to compare two categories to each other. So a category 8 and a category 7 in terms of damage. Category 8 has, in this case, be a 1/3 less power, or a third less damage, or in other words, category 7 has 50% more damage. How this doesn't necessarily translate directly to your damage output, but that's just, they haven't told us how that works. And so you could basically just divide one by the other, and that's the proportion between the two. I go into the in-game versus forum there in that chart. And essentially what it boils down to is they're all roughly the same, where the power or the damage to health ratio is off by a factor of 2.13 in all cases, which really doesn't matter too much, but it's still very prevalent. And so then I go into how basically just comparing what to expect. So one category versus another. So I basically just divide them out in this grid. So this first one would be, say, the in-game damage comparison. This one would be so in-game, there. So in-game, I compare the numbers seen with different categories, the forum, and then I divide the forum by the category, and they're basically all one. So they are a ratio of each other. They do, so it matches up in-game, and as well as the health, because you can see that the ratios are all essentially one, with a small minor deviation here and there. And so it just shows that these are not numbers to be used directly as like what to expect from your dragon, but in standalone, these are a way to compare the categories to each other. The main 4 that you'll ever see, I should have included this at the beginning, apologies, are category 5 for your sanctuary dragons, category 9, which is typically now most legendaries these days come out in category 9, category 10 which is your mythical, with mythical being just a term that Social Point seem to have made in order to avoid saying categories, and then category 11, which is heroics. Those are the main 4 that are considered good. The rest are okay, but they're far less favorable. And the descending order of good to worse is 11, 10, 9, 5. So yeah, so all this will be linked in the description, as well as the numbers. So yeah, thank you for listening to this ramble, and yeah, have a good day.